Thank you for joining this lesson. We're going to discuss a Form 2 paper, mathematics. The paper is for midterm exam. So I hope you guys shall benefit from the broadcast. Remember, as usual, to share the lesson with friends by clicking the link so that we may flow together. It's a very good paper, a well thought paper. So I would like us now to flow together right from number 1. I request people to be attentive. If you are a learner, kindly make sure that you have the learning materials whereby you can write down even the questions through this number 0704153366. You can even request for the revision materials. Otherwise, thank you so much for turning up. Look at number 1, which is a question on linear equations. The question says, evaluate. Then what are we having here? X out of 5 minus X out of 7 equals to 4. I know the question can be given very many approaches, but I will handle it in this way, whereby I will have coefficients of X in the first term and in the second term. In this way, I will take 1/5 to be the coefficient of X, then minus 1 out of 7 also as a coefficient of X, then this one I'm equating to 4. So that when I take 1/5 minus 1 out of 7, now I'm getting 2 out of 35. So 2/35, this is now the difference. 2 out of 35, the value of X equals to 4. And you know now it's very simple to remain with X because I need to multiply by the reciprocal of 2/35. So by 35/2, and also the other side by 35/2. So the value of X automatically becomes 70. So the value of X is 70. That is how we handle such a question. Though people can use even the LCM to do away with fractions and such other approaches, I would prefer this one to be the quickest and the most efficient. Number 2 is on commercial arithmetic. As we continue learning, kindly be reminded of our program here, whereby you can purchase airtime of any amount from your M-Pesa. You just go to the M-Pesa, Lipa na M-Pesa option. The pay bill number is 737356. Then the account number is your own phone number, the phone number that you'd like to purchase airtime for. Then now you proceed with the amount. Then now you will be able to get your airtime. This is an approach that you can even share with friends and family. So thank you so much for being around. We continue. Number 2 on commercial arithmetic. A wholesaler sold a cell phone to a retailer, making a profit 20%. The retailer later sold his cell phone for 3,120 Kenya shillings, making a profit of 30%. Calculate the amount of money the wholesaler had paid for the cell phone. Now, this one is a question whereby a learner or a student is supposed to be very critical when analyzing it. Because looking at the question, you see now, we are already given that 3120 Kenya shillings, there is a profit of 30%, which means this amount is equivalent to 130%. That 120. What about, because this is now the retailer. This is the retailer making this sell. What about the amount the retailer had bought? 100%. That 120 by 100 out of 130. So this amount now can be computed and expressed as Kenya shillings. That 120 multiplied by 100 divided by 130. This gives me 2,400 Kenya shillings. 2,400 Kenya shillings. This is the amount the retailer had paid. Now, this retailer, for him or her to buy the phone at this amount, the wholesaler had also made a profit. So this wholesaler made a profit of 20% by selling it at 2,400. Therefore, we will say 120% is equivalent to 2,400. What about 100%? The cost at which the wholesaler bought the cell phone. So 2,400 by 100 out of 120. Yeah, out of 120. So this is going to be 2,000 Kenya shillings. 2,000 Kenya shillings. Therefore, the wholesaler bought the phone at 2,000 Kenya shillings. That is why, after selling at 2,400, he realized a profit of 20%. So that now, because he's selling to a retailer, now the retailer identified a final consumer of this phone, and by making 30%, the retailer sold it at 31.20. So that is how the question is supposed to be analyzed. Look at number 3. Look at a simple question like number 3. The sum of 4 consecutive odd integers. Mark the language of odd and also integers is more than 24. Determine the first 4 such integers. The first 4 such integers. Consecutive integers. If one is let to be x, because they are consecutive and they are odd, from x to the next odd integer, we must add 1. We must add 2, sorry. We add 2. Because when we add 1, we will just go to the next integer, and from odd, it will be even. So we want to go to, let me give this example. If we are moving from 21, we have to go to 23, then 25, then 27. You see the interval between consecutive odd numbers is 2. So we are adding 2. We add 2. We add 2 for us to get the next, or the consecutive odd number. They must be having intervals of 2. So what do I mean in this case now? For me to get the next, I have to add x, and now I add 4 because I'm adding 2 to this one. Then the other one, I'm also adding 2, so x plus 6. The next one, these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, those are the first 4 now. So when I take x plus x plus 2, then I add x plus 4, then I add x plus 6, I am supposed to get more than 24. Supposed to get more than 24. So let me check. When I get 24, okay, you know they are integers. These are counting numbers. So just after 24, and I'm adding integers, the answer should be at least 25. At least 25. Should be at least 25. More than. So should be at least 25. Yeah, at least 25. Because when we say they are equal to 24, then the language of more than will not be in place. Now look at x, 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 and x. That is 4 for x. Then I have 2, 4, and 6. That gives me 12, right? That gives me 12. So I'm supposed to, okay, let me work with 24 first. I'll show you how to apply 25. Let Let me work with 24 first. I'm talking of 24 minus 12, giving me 12. Then the value of x becomes 3. The value of x becomes 3. So if the value of x becomes 3, if the value of x becomes 3, then the integers that we have added at this point will be 3. The next one becomes 5. The next one, when we add 4, 7, then 9. Yeah, 7, 9. Now, for the 4 integers, these ones are now giving us 24. These ones are giving us 24. But now we want integers which will give us more than 24. So the first integers to give us more than 24 should be now beginning from 5. So they should begin from 5, 7, 9, and 11. These are the integers that we want. When we add these first 4 integers, look at the sum. When we add 5, 7, 9, and 11, I'm getting 32. This is more than 24. Yeah, this is more than 24. But when we begin from 3, we will get exactly 24. And do we want 24? No. We want the sum of 4 consecutive odd integers, whereby the sum is going to be more than 24. Therefore, we first get the ones giving us 24. Then from the ones giving us 24 now, we can identify the ones that will take us beyond 24. So we eliminate 3, because when we begin with 3, we will land at 24 exactly. But we want to shoot beyond 24. So for us to go beyond 24 now, we have to cut off the first integer, which will give us 24. Then we begin with the consecutive one. That is 5, 7, 9, and 11. I'm sure that question is technical. Reach out for more explanations. So we'll be proceeding to number 4, a question on fractions. This one I hope you guys can even solve. Be reminded of the airtime program, whereby you are supposed to get airtime of any amount for any network, Safaricom, Airtel, Telcom. Just get your airtime by going to the M-Pesa menu, Lipa na M-Pesa. The pay bill number is 737356. Then the account number is your own phone number. Your own phone number. So remember to promote us through that approach. Share the pay bill number with your friends. Evaluate without using calculators, mathematical tables, leaving your answer in the simplest form. Leaving your answer in the simplest form. And I want to warn people, even without the instructions of leaving in the simplest form, just get used to leaving answers in simplest form. Imagine you solve a question and you find that the final answer is 3/6. Then you leave it that way. I expect a civilized student to proceed and make this one half. Just an example. So let answers be in their simplest form. Let answers be in their simplest form. Look at this. I have to begin by working out what is in the numerator. So that in the numerator, I begin with whatever is in the bracket. Remember, we are following BODMAS. Yeah, we are following BODMAS. Therefore, inside brackets, we work out first. So we'll be having 4 out of 11. Off means multiplication, but multiplication by what? We work out now. The LCM of 4, I have to subtract manually. The LCM of 4 and 20 is just 20. So 20 divided by 4 gives us 5. 5 times the numerator of 3, that's 15, minus 20 divided by 20 is 1. And 1 times 1 remains 1. So 4/11 of, let's now simplify this. This will be 14 out of 20. Now this can simplify further. By 4 we get 5. Therefore, I'll be having 14 out of 55. This is after working out the numerator. Let's see what you get after working out the denominator. Let us look at the denominator now, so that we may combine the simplified formats of each. 3 plus a third. So from the first bracket, I'm going to get 3 plus a third, which is 3 and a third. Then when we talk of, okay, let's look at division. Then the other bracket, what are we getting? I'm having a 1 plus 10, which will be 1 and 1 out of 10. Yeah, after addition. So I've worked out whatever was inside the brackets. Now I have to proceed and make this one an improper fraction for simplification. So I'll be talking of 3 times 3 plus 1. That's 10 over 3. Then instead of dividing, now I have to multiply, so that in the next bracket, I take the reciprocal. So when I work out 10 by 1 plus 1, I'm getting 11 out of 10, which will be 11 out of 10, which will be 10 of 11. So now this becomes 100 out of 33. Yeah, 100 over 33. 100 out of 33. So now we can combine what we simplified in the numerator and what we are simplifying now in the denominator. From the numerator, we have 14 out of 55 divided by 100 out of 33. Now this means 14 over 55, instead of divided, now I change to multiplication, then I take reciprocal. So I love by 11, 3, and by 11, 5. Yeah. Then I do 7 by 2, and this one becomes 50. So I'll be having 21 out of 250. 21 out of 250. This is a simplified fraction. I don't think we can go beyond that. Remember, we had been advised to do this without calculators or mathematical tables, and I have obeyed those instructions. Yeah, so we can proceed now to number 5. Express in part A 1050 in terms of its prime factors. In terms of its prime factors. I hope you are aware that our consultation line 0704 15 33 66. Please utilize this number. Okay, express 1050. So I begin by now dividing 1050 with the simplest prime factor, which is 2, because the number is even. 1050 over 2. This will be 525. Now the number is no longer even, therefore I go to the next prime factor, and that will be 3. When I divide by 3, I'm getting 175. What about if I go by 3 again? It cannot simplify further. So 175 is not simplifying by 3. So 175, we go to the next prime factor, which is 5. We divide by 5, this becomes 35. Yeah. Then 35 is further divided by 5 again to give us 7, and 7 is prime. Therefore, 1050 equals to 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, then by 5 again, then by 7. Yeah. 2 times 3 times 5 times 5 times 7. That is it. Let's look at part B now. Okay, we can confirm whether we are right there. 2 by 3, let me confirm first before I proceed. By 5 by 5, then multiplied by 7. I'm getting exactly 1050. So that one is sorted. We have not been told in power form, which is not a mistake. You can still put it in power form. But look at the second question and what it says. Determine the smallest positive number such that 1050 multiplied by L is going to become a perfect square. You know, we need to know what a perfect square is. We just need to know what a perfect square is. A perfect square is a number whereby if we start obtaining the square root, it will not be a third. It will be a rational number, like the root of 9, whereby we exactly get 3. But the root of 7, you see, we cannot get exactly an exact number. The root of 7 will be point something, or we leave it as a sad and such. So we need now 1050 multiplied by a certain number to become a perfect square. One thing you're supposed to know about perfect squares is that the prime factors making a perfect square are always in pairs. The prime factors making perfect squares are usually in pairs. Please master that. Even if you will not get anything else within this lesson, understand that the prime factors which are making a perfect square are usually in pairs. Which means because 2 is alone, we need another 2. I'm getting L now. We need another 2, so that 2 becomes power 2 also. 3 is alone, so we need another 3, so that 3's become 2 of them. Now, for the case of 5, you can see that 5 is already a pair. Therefore, 5 is already contributing perfectly. Let's go to 7. 7 is existing alone, so we need another 7. And now when we multiply these prime factors with what we have up there, it will become a perfect square. A perfect square. So it will be 2 by 3 by 7. You know, this is going to give us exactly 42. So the answer is exactly 42. I believe we were working together in that question. Assume you had been asked, what can you multiply to make it a perfect cube? A perfect cube, we have the prime factors existing in triplets. Instead of pairs, now they have to be 3, 3, 3. Therefore, for 2, we have needed 2 times 2. For 3, we would have needed another 3 times another 3. And for 5, we would have added a 5 because the 5s are already 2. We would have added 1 5. Then for 7, we add 2 other 7s for us to get the number, which when it multiplies 1050, we would have gotten a perfect square. A perfect square. Look at number 6. Look at number 6. A very good question on angles and polygons. The exterior angle of a regular polygon is x minus 50 degrees, and the interior angle is 2x plus 20 degrees. Find the number of sides of the polygon. There are some facts about polygons, the number of sides, interior angles, exterior angles, sum of interior angles, sum of exterior angles that we are supposed to put on board for us to be able to handle a few questions like these ones. We are supposed to be knowing that whenever we take interior angle plus its corresponding exterior, we're supposed to get exactly 180. Therefore, when I take x minus 50 and I add 2x plus 20, then I'm supposed to get exactly 180. So I'm already having 3x equivalent to, I take 180, 150 will be added to this side, but 20 will be subtracted. So 3x is equivalent to 230 minus 20, which is 210. Then the value of x will be, when we divide through by 3, 210 out of 3, I will get exactly 70. So the value of x is 70. With this, we are supposed to get now the value of the exterior angle. So the exterior angle is equal to x minus 50. And this is exactly 20 degrees. So the exterior angle is 20 degrees. Now, the exterior angle being 20 degrees, we are supposed to know that in a regular polygon, yeah, this one is regular. In a regular polygon whereby all the angles are equal, we should know that the sum of exterior angles is usually equal to 360. Sum of exterior angles equals to 360. Therefore, if one exterior angle is 20 and they are supposed to total to 360, then how many are they? How many are they? We take 360 over E, 360 over 20. This will exactly give us 18 sides. N equals to 18 sides. n equals to 18 sides. Yeah, n equals to 18 sides. Then there is another question here. This is number 7. Using squares, square roots, and reciprocal tables. Those are 3 tables for one question. Evaluate the following, giving your answer to 2 decimal places. Something else to underline is the accuracy at which the answer is demanded. 2 decimal places. So we are going to use 2 types of squares, 2 types of tables, that is, for us to work out whatever is provided here. Allow me begin with squares and square roots. Yeah, before we get to the reciprocals, we have to obtain square roots, and we are also supposed to square here. Then we go to the reciprocals. Let me open my mathematical table, the 4-figure table. The 4-figure table. Remember to subscribe to our broadcast. Remember also to share with friends. Yeah, I know you know some people who really are in need of these particular lessons. Kindly don't fail to invite them. Yeah, we are now on the 4-figure table. It is standby. The 4-figure table is standby. So we can now solve together. Let's work out together. We're going to ensure that we are through with the section 1 before the end of this broadcast. Make sure you keep following. Make sure you invite friends so that we may learn together. All right. Let's take square root of 34.46. 34.46 square root. So we go to the tables of square roots. Yeah, square roots. So we have to look at 34. 34 is here. On X, we need to look at 34. Therefore, 34 is at this point. 34 is at this point. Then 0.46. 0.46. So we go to 4. We go to 4. We see what we will find. Let's check at 4 what we are having here. So that's 4.4. We have to go down through this column now. Go down through this column this way. Therefore, what I'm finding is here. So we have to begin with the 5 at this point. 5.8652. 5.8652. Then we add, we are finding 34.4. Now we go to the column that has 6 on the differences side. We continue flowing on the differences side. We continue flowing. Until the column now that has a difference of 6 now. We pick the value there. So we have to go down this column now until we intersect the row. So what are we finding here? 5.1. What I'm finding there is 5.1. Therefore, I'm supposed to come here and add 5.1 at this point. 5.1 there. So I'll be having 3, 0, carry 1, 7, 8.5. So now, when I'm working on this now, I should be having 2 out of the square root has been found. It's 5. It's 5.8703. Then I add 2 out of. Now I find the square. Now I'm supposed to square 8.76. I'm squaring 8.76. So I go to squares now. I go to square tables. I go to squares. Yeah, square tables are here. So I have to square 8.76. 8.76. So 8.7 is here. 8.7 is there. Then we go to 6. 8.7, then we go to 6. So 8.7, that is the row. Then the column with 6 is here. The column with 6 is here. This one now is the column we are going down with. So where are they intersecting? At this point. So when I square 8.76, I'm getting 76.74. 76.74. 76.74. Like that. So I have gotten square root and I have also squared on the other side. Now I have to proceed to the reciprocals. I have to proceed to the reciprocals. In the first case, reciprocal apply in this manner. We are having 2. Therefore, 2 is being multiplied by the reciprocal of 5.8703. That's what you should know. Plus 2 again, 2 multiplied by the reciprocal of 76. And now, instead of 76, I can do it 7.674. I make it a standard form. Yeah, I make it standard form. I make it standard form. I hope you are getting it clear. I hope what we are writing on the screen is visible to every learner. Okay, so now let me go to the reciprocal table. In this case now, I have to read, in the first case, the reciprocal of 5.8703. And because it is a 4-figure table, we cannot read anything, either reciprocal, squaring, the cube. We cannot do for a number whereby it is beyond 4 significant figures. Therefore, I have to make it a 4 significant figure number, 5.870. We cannot proceed to the 50 significant figure. Then I also read for 7.674. Yeah, that is what you're supposed to know. So in the first case, let me underline my space here so that I use it wisely. My space is now underlined. So I have to take 2 multiplied by the reciprocal of 5.870. So I'm going to the reciprocals tables now. Reciprocals are here. 5.870. 5.87. So 5.8. The row, I move along this row. 5.87. So at this point, yeah, that is the point. And remember, we are beginning with 0 point. Just remember that we are beginning with 0 point. So 1704. Then I go where there is 0 to the column which has 0, and automatically there is a 0 there. So here it is subtracting. So in case we had found a significant figure there, we would have subtracted and not added. So 0.1704. 0.1704 plus 2 multiplied by. Now on the other side, the reciprocal of 7.67, then we go to 4. 7.67. So 7.67, 7.67, 7.67. Let me look at 7. Yeah, 7.67. So I have to go down this column now. It's the column with 7. 7.67. I'm having 0.1304. 0.1304. Let me work it out here first. Let me work it out here so that I bring it now when it is soft. 0.1304. 0.1304. Then now I subtract. Remember, on the differences side, we are subtracting whatever is at 4. So where there is 4, we'll take now where there is 4, we subtract. So where there is 4, we go down with these values now. Where there is 4, I can see now we are only having 1. Where there is 4, I'm only seeing 1. Yeah. Where there is 4, I'm seeing 1. Therefore, now 1 will be subtracted. At this point, 1 will be subtracted there. This will be 3, 0, 3, 1. That way. Therefore, I'm having 0.1303, but now there is times 10 power 1. There is times 10 power 1. So with times 10 power 1, this is where now I want us to go slow and have everybody understand. If this is 10 power 1, then its reciprocal is also going to be found, and the reciprocal of 10 power 1 is 10 power negative 1. The reciprocal of 10 power 1 at this point, the reciprocal of this part has been obtained from the tables, but the reciprocal of 10 power 1 will just be taken by inversing this. Instead of 10 power 1, it becomes 10 power negative 1. So this will be now 0 point. Instead of 13, now we'll have 0 coming here. 1303. Yeah, that way. Then now we can compile our final answer. 2 into 0.1704 plus 2 into 0.01303. Then finally, I'm getting 0.36686, but this one is to 5 significant figures. We are talking about 2 decimal places. So finally, I'll settle at 0.37 as the final answer. 0.37. That is our final answer. Yeah, the final answer. We look at number 8. Use the exchange rates below to answer this question. So we have a currency here, US dollars, UK, euros, the buying in Kenya shillings, and we have the selling also in Kenya shillings. A tourist arriving in Kenya from Britain had 9,600 UK sterling pounds. He converted the sterling pounds to Kenya shillings at a commission of 5%. While in Kenya, he spent 3/4 of this money. He changed the balance to US dollars after his stay. If he was not charged any commission for this last transaction, calculate the nearest US dollars, the amount of money that he is going to receive after staying in Kenya. At the first place, we are converting foreign currency to Kenyan currency because the tourist is from Britain to Kenya. Therefore, we should note that from foreign to Kenya, we use the buying column, and it's a multiplication. For Kebu, then we multiply. Foreign to Kenyan currency, foreign currency to Kenyan currency, the buying column, Therefore, yeah, it's UK pounds. Okay, so the amount he's having is 9600 times the buying column. You know, when it comes with UK sterling pounds, the bank buys them. So it buys one at 125.30. So how much is he going to receive from the bank? Because he is selling 9,600 of them. So 9600 by 125.3. This gives us 1,202,880. Now, this is the amount which is due, but he is going to be charged a commission of 5%. So he will only receive 95% of this, because the guy doing the transaction at the bank, maybe because of time, they had to organize a deal there and he had to give out a discount of 5%. Therefore, at the end of the day, the match he is going to have is 95% of this amount, which is 1,142,736. That is the amount now this gentleman is going to have while entering Kenya. Now, he spent 3/4 of this money. So we can get the balance. For us to get the balance, we need to calculate a quarter, because the balance is a quarter. He spent 3/4. So instead of calculating 3/4 so that we may subtract, let me get directly their quarter that remained, so that I may save on time. So their quarter that remained now is 285,684 Kenya shillings. That is the amount that remained after he spent in Kenya. Remember, he's a tourist, so he went to good places, and this is the only balance that he had after staying in Kenya with this kind of an economy. Okay. The demand statement here is telling us to calculate to the nearest US dollar the amount he received. So now we are going to convert. We're going to convert Kenyan currency to foreign currency, and we are supposed to use the selling column. Kefose, Kenyan to foreign, selling, and in this case, we shall divide. In simpler terms, when you go to the Kenyan bank with Kenya shillings and you demand US dollars, then the bank will sell to you. How does it sell? It sells $1 US at 63.2. It sells $1 US at 63.2. So if you have 684 Kenya shillings, how much US dollars will you manage to buy? So we divide for you so that you may know the amount you will go home with. So we supposed now to create 285,684 divided by 63.2. Is that so? 63.20, which is just the same. So the US dollars are going to be, yeah, let me divide this, 63.2. Now this is going to be, remember it is to the nearest US dollar, to the nearest. So I'm getting 45.20 US dollars. That is the amount you shall have after the conversion. Yeah, something that you're supposed to note. That is what you will have after the conversion. Number 9, which is our next. And I'm supposed to remind you that you guys can get airtime of any amount from your own M-Pesa. Just go to the M-Pesa menu, Lipa na M-Pesa number 737356, a number that you can memorize and even share with your friends and families. Then the account number is the phone number that you'd like to buy the airtime for. Be it Safaricom, Airtel, Telcom, any line. Then you enter the amount, you complete your transaction, and you receive the airtime instantly. So take note of that, share with your friends. Remember also to invite people to this live broadcast so that people may also continue benefiting from this powerful platform, Shifting Grades. Our consultation line remains 0704153366. That is our consultation line. The figure below shows two concentric circles, in which CD and EF are arcs of the circles center O. Arcs of the circles center O. CD and EF are arcs. Yeah, arcs of the circles. Now, the angle COD equals to 72, just as indicated. OC, and actually this question looks like another one which has ever been the KCSE. I think the KCSE which was done in the year 2021, April. That was supposed to be the KCSE 2020, but because of coronavirus, the KCSE was postponed to 2021, April. We had a question exactly like this one. Maybe the values might differ a little bit, but this is the kind of setting which was in that particular examination. Then we have a 42, OC and OD, 42. Then we have the length from C to E and D to F are equal. If we let this one to be X, this one will also be X. So they are equal. Yeah, they are equal. Let's proceed. If the perimeter of the shape CDFE, the whole of this CD, we go to F, then to E, the shape, the whole shape, yeah, that is the shape, the whole shape, CDFE, that is the shape that we are talking about. That is the shape we are talking about now. So we are saying that the perimeter of that shape is 153. Ladies and gentlemen, we are supposed to be very careful here. Let's flow together in this one. We are supposed to be very careful. If that is so, calculate the length CE. In other words, let's find what I had let to be X. Let's find what I had let to be X. So how do we get the length of an arc? You know, there are two arcs here. I will say the length of 153 has been given by when we take the value of X and we add X again. X and X again. So X, I add the known again, X. Then I add, let me talk about the first arc, which is CD. Arc is given by, an arc length is given by beta over 360, 2 pi r. Yeah, 2 pi r. Beta over 360, 2 pi r. So I need to talk about 72 out of 360. Then, sorry for that, times beta over 360, 2 pi r, which is 42. Then now we add the other arc, which is EF. And what is the radius for EF? The radius for EF is 42 plus the unknown X. 42 plus the unknown X. But the beta at the center is the same, 72 over 360 to pi r, which is 42 plus X. Yeah, 42 plus X, that way. So I think now you can see this arrangement of work now. That is the interpretation that I wanted a learner to have. A student is supposed to have such an interpretation. That figure, let me get back to the figure. C, D, F, E. This figure now, the enclosed figure, has a perimeter of 153. So how does 153 come about? How does it come about? We had all the boundaries. The first boundary is just a known X. The other one is also a known X. Then now this one is the arc. CD is an arc, whereby the radius is 42. So beta over 360, 2 pi r. Let's now compute. Then the other arc, whereby the radius is changing now. For arc CF, the radius is changing to 42 plus x. 42 plus x. So I'm talking about 72 over 360 to pi 22 over 7 r 42. This is giving me exactly 52.8. 52.8. So I'm having 153 equals to 2x plus 53.8 plus, what about the other side now? I'll be having the same, actually, when I open brackets. I'll be having 53.8, then plus 1 and 9 over 35, the value of x. You know, I'm supposed to take 72 over 360, 2 pi by 42, I get a value. Then plus, now, because I'm opening brackets, 72 over 360, 2 pi, yeah, that way. I get 1 and 9 over 35, the value of x. So we can now group terms together. When I add 2 to this, I'll be getting 3 and 9 out of 35. 3 and 9 out of 35. And now I have to go to this side and I take a 153, I subtract 53.8 plus 53.8. This is giving me 45.4. I hope I have done it well. 45.4. Yeah. Remember, this is the value of x, this x. So to remain with x now, which is our length, CE, I'm supposed to divide 45.4 over 3 and 9 over 35. And this is going to give me exactly 13.94. 13.94 centimeters. Those with calculators kindly help me in the grouping of like terms. Yeah, you can just help me to know whether I've given it the best approach. 153 minus 53.8 plus 53.8 is supposed to give me 45.4. Yeah, then I divide by 3 and 9 out of 35. So I'm getting 13.94 to 4 significant figures. So that is it. That is how you're supposed to play along such a question until you find yourself at the answer. Remember to subscribe. Yeah, we are moving at a very good speed. You can see we are in number 10 out of 16 questions. So our rate and pace is very okay. Very okay. Number 10. Last year, Onyango was 4 times as old as his son. In 4 years' time, the sum of their ages will be 53. Determine their present ages. We can work out this question in 2 approaches. One, let me start by their present age. Let me start by present ages. Present age. Then I have a son. Then the father now, who is Onyango. The son and Onyango. Let's see son and Onyango and how it will happen. So we are told that last year. Let me even begin with last year. We cancel the concept of present. Let me talk about last year. Last year, Onyango was 4 times as old as his son. So if the son was X, then Onyango was 4 times as old. 4 times as old. So for X, that is last year. If last year they were this way, what about this year? Or rather, present. What about present ages? That was last year. So present, everybody has increased by 1. So also this one has also increased by 1. So these are their present ages. Then in 4 years' time, so let's about 4 years' time. In 4 years' time, the son will have increased by 4. So it'll be X plus 5. Onyango will also increase by 4. So plus 5 at that point. This is what will help you to score in the examination. Now with this table, we can look at which age or at what time can we get an equation for their ages. In 4 years' time, the sum of their ages will be 53. So X plus 5, then 4X plus 5 will be 53. So we can have 5X equals to, 5X equals to, now we subtract, the sum of the ages will be 53. Yeah, so we subtract 10. We subtract 10 because this is 5 and this is 5 from the other side, and we'll be getting 43. Yeah, we'll be getting 43. So the value of X equals to, we take 43 and we divide by 5. So we are having 8 and 3 over 5 years. 8 and 3 out of 5 years. That is what we are getting. Then after that, we talk about present ages. So present ages, the son is going to be X plus 1. So it will be 8 and 3 over 5 plus 1, 9 and 3 out of 5 years. Can we also talk about Mr. Onyango, who is the father in this case? Onyango is going to be 4 times X, then we add 1. This should be 35 and 2 over 5. Yes. Yeah, sometimes the answers are not integers, so we bear with how the question has been set. So that is how the question is supposed to be approached. I know there are other questions which will give us very rational values, but for this one, that is what we are getting. I said those with calculators and following carefully, they can kindly confirm our answers as we work them out. Yeah, number 11. We are towards the end. We are towards the end. Find the mass in kg. Very serious instructions. Find the mass in kg of a wooden beam, 4 meters long, 25 centimeters wide, and we're also having 18 centimeters deep if the density of the wood is 625 kg per meter cubed. Because the density has been provided in SI units, let me also calculate volume in SI units. So for this beam, we'll have volume given by length times width times height. Length times width times height. It looks like a cuboid beam. So 4 multiplied by 0.25. I'm trying to make it meters, 0.18 or so at that point. So what will be volume at this particular point? 4 multiplied by 0.5 multiplied by 0.18. This will be 0.18 meters cubed. This is now the volume. Now with volume, how do we get density? Mass, sorry. Remember that density equals to mass out of volume. So volume, so for us to get mass, we need to multiply through by volume. So density times volume. A density of 625 and a volume of 0.18. This will give us a mass in kgs directly. 625. This will be 112.5. 0.5 kilograms direct. So this is the mass in kilograms. A very simple question for 3 marks. So a student is just supposed to obtain the marks while relaxed. While relaxed. At number 12, towards our end, towards the end of this paper, we are approaching the end of the paper. Remember the consultation lines 0704153366. Please use this number for consultations. Number 12, the mass of two similar solids are 324 grams and 768 grams. Find part A, height of the smaller solid if the height of the bigger solid is 20 centimeters. Now, this is what we call similarities and enlargements. Similarities and enlargements. Similarities and enlargements. Look at this. We are given the masses. We are supposed to know mass. Let me just give this note because students take this one for granted. Mass, volume, capacity, and density. Any measurement which is in 3 dimension gives us volume, scale factor. Volume scale factor. Therefore, when we relate for these two similar solids, their masses, they will give us volume scale factor. So mass gives volume scale factor. 324 out of 768. Volume scale factor. 324 out of 768. I'm getting a 0.421875. So with volume scale factor, we can get linear scale factor by taking the cube root of volume scale factor. And this is going to be exactly 0.75. So we have linear scale factor, which is obtained from the cube root of volume scale factor. Now with linear scale factor, then we can work out, it can also be changed to a fraction. This is 75 over 100, or simply 3/4. Yeah, 3/4. So linear scale factor for the two containers or for the two solids is 3/4. With a linear scale factor of 3/4, we can now get height. Because height is in 1 dimension, we relate it using linear scale factor. Height of the bigger is 20. So height of the smaller, find height of the smaller. Height of the smaller will be 3/4 of 20. 3/4 of 20. This is going to be exactly 15 centimeters. 3/4 of 20. If we were finding the height of the larger, we would have multiplied when the bigger proportion in this ratio is the numerator. So we would have inversed to have 4/3 if we were finding for the bigger. But now that we are finding for the smaller, then we work when the linear scale factor is having the smaller proportion as the numerator, because we are reducing, in other words. Part B, find the surface area of the smaller solid if the surface area of the bigger is 40 square centimeters. So we have to work out something called area scale factor for us to relate areas. So area scale factor will be when we take the linear scale factor and we square it. This will be 9 out of 16. So 9 over 16 multiplied by 40. 9 over 16 by 40, because we are finding a surface area of the smaller. Yeah, so we reduce 9 over 16 by 40. This will give us 22.5 square centimeters. 22.5 square centimeters. 22.5 square centimeters. Number 13. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, to purchase airtime from our facility here, just go to the M-Pesa, leave the pay bill number or the business number 737356. Something that you can memorize very easily. Yeah, something that you can memorize 737356. Then the account number now becomes the phone number that you're buying the airtime for. Then after that, now you enter the amount that you want to spend as airtime, and you will have your airtime reflecting instantly. So thank you so much. You can invite friends to this platform. Talking about this question, 32 raised to the power of negative a fifth. You must master that, negative a fifth. Then multiplied by 8100. 8100 is being multiplied by 3 out of 4, raised to power 3 out of 4, not multiplied, raised to power 3 out of 4, then divided everything by 8 power negative half, multiplied by 5 power half, multiplied by 4 power 0, multiplied by 4 power a quarter, multiplied by 4 power a quarter. Yeah, let's see how to maneuver through this question. Let me start by simplifying the numerator first. Simplify the numerator first. Therefore, I'm applying the what we call the negative law of indices, the first term. Negative law of indices says if we have a power negative index, then we have to take the reciprocal of a, and the power becomes positive. So instead of 32, I write 1 over 32. Then I will raise this one to power 1 over 5, multiplied by fractional law of indices, which says when we have a power a fraction m over n, I'm supposed to get the nth root of a, then everything is to power m. Nth root of a, then I raise to power m. That means at this point I need the fourth root of 8100, then everything now I raise to power 3. Let me finish up with the numerator first. So the fifth root of 1 over 32 is going to be 1 over 2 multiplied by, let me check the fourth root of 8100. Then now I raise everything to power, I raise everything to, yeah, I raise everything to power 3. I take the fourth root, so 4 shift power of 8100, 4 shift power of 8100, then I cube it. I'm going to get 853.8 for significant figures, so that when we simplify this, I multiply by half. I'm getting 426.9. 426.9. Let us look at the denominator. In most of the cases, we expect the numbers to be rational. If we obtain fourth root, we expect not to get a decimal number. But in this case, we are getting a decimal number. So that is what we are going to work with. Look at the denominator now. We apply again the negative law, whereby we have to make it 1 over 8, then power half, multiplied by 5, which is also power half, multiplied by 4, which is power 0. Okay, at 4 power 0, let's apply what we call the negative, the 0 index. Anything power 0 is 1. Anything power 0 is equivalent to 1. Anything power 0 is equivalent to 1. So I'll be talking of 1 multiplied by 4 power a quarter. From this now, I can apply the fractional law, whereby it means the root 2 of everything here. Root 2 of eighth, root 2 of eighth. This is going to be 0.3536, yeah, multiplied by the square root of 5, which is going to be 2.236 multiplied by 1 multiplied by the fourth root. So 4 shift power of 4, which is 1.414. So what are we getting here? 0.3536 times 2.236 times again 1.414. This is going to be 1.118. 4.118. So now we can combine the denominator and the numerator. So what will be the final answer here? Let me check for you. 426.9 divided by 1.118. So I'm getting 381.8 to 4 SF. So that is what you are supposed to use as the answer, and you work using a calculator. Let's look at number 14, a very good question. A square toilet is covered by a number of whole rectangular tiles. Mark the word whole rectangular tiles. 60 by 48. Calculate the least possible area of the room in square meters. Therefore, we are supposed to know that the first thing to get here is the dimension of the square toilet. So dimensions of the square toilet, we are supposed to get the LCM, something that can be divided uniformly. The least length that can be divided uniformly by both 60 and 48. By both 60 and 48. So it means LCM. LCM, so that you may get something that we are calling a multiple, because we are moving from dimensions of a tile to the dimensions of a toilet. Actually, if we were moving from a rectangular toilet to square tiles, we would have gotten GCD, because we need something that can divide the rectangular toilet. But now we are having rectangular tiles and we need a square toilet, which means it's bigger. It has to be divided into rectangular tiles. Therefore, we need a multiple of both 60 and 48. The first prime factor is 2, 30, 24. 2 again, 15, 12. 2 again, 15, 6. 2 again, 15, 3. So that now we proceed to 3. So that this becomes 5 and 1, then 5, 1, 1. So we'll be talking about 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, times 3 times 5, whereby the length of the rectangular room is now going to be 2 power 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, giving us 240 centimeters. which means it's measuring 2.4 meters by 2.4 meters. But what are we talking about now? Calculate the least possible area. So area, because we have dimensions now, to be 4 by 4, 4.4, 2.4 by 2.4. This is going to be 5.76. Yeah, square centimeters. This is now the area. Yeah, that is the area of the toilet. Yeah, square meters. The toilet room. So that is it. Number 15, which is on construction. Here I'm just supposed to give the int, then you'll be proceeding. Remember, airtime is being gotten conveniently by going to the M-Pesa menu. Lipa na M-Pesa paybill number. The business number is 737356. Then the account number is your own phone number. Yeah, then you purchase the airtime that you want to spend. You can also invite your friends to use the same facilities. Use a ruler and compasses in this question. Draw a parallelogram ABCD in which AB equals to 8 centimeters. Look at this. BC 6. Then the angle BAD equals to 7.5. By construction, determine the perpendicular distance between AB and CD. So now we can begin with AB. I'm going to give a sketch, ladies and gentlemen, from A to B, just from A to B. Yeah, so I'm just giving a sketch of this information so that now with your geometrical tools, you get to the actual diagram. So this is scale drawing. Scale drawing. So from A to B, from A to B, let's talk about 8 centimeters. Then now with that, from B to C, we have 6 centimeters, but now we don't know where C is. So we can talk of angle BAD. So from B to AD, 75. So 75 will be constructed here. We start by raising a 90 there. Then, because we need 75, we need to draw a 60 angle here. Then the 30 that remains, we bisect the 30 here. So we have drawn 60 and we have bisected 30. What we are getting here is exactly 75, because we draw 60 and the 30 that remains, we bisect it. Then after that, now along that line now is where we are going to measure 6 centimeters, because A to D must be the same as B to C. And again, the angle there must also be on the other side. So we also have to talk about, okay, we don't need to construct it there actually, because standing at point B, look at this. Standing at D, we can make an arc. Let me make a serious arc. Standing at D and we use length AB, we make an arc. And standing at B and we use arc AD, which is 6 centimeters, we make an arc. You discover that this is automatically 8 centimeters. And when you join here, automatically 6 centimeters. So this becomes our point C, and you will have gotten our parallelogram. That's simple. That's simple. That's simple. That's simple. Let's talk about number 6 now, which is from solids. The figure below shows part of a solid cuboid, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A, B, C, we don't have D, E, F, G, H. Complete the diagram showing the hidden edges with broken lines. So now we have to come up with these. We draw a line here, then we join it up. Yeah, join it up there, like that. Then on the other side, we need to raise an equal line so that we also join like this. You see now? Then with this, we can talk about the top now. We talk about the top this way. It's a three-dimensional drawing, but you're supposed to be very careful. These are now the faces that we can see. Now we have to talk about the hidden edges now. The hidden edges. There is an edge there. There's also an edge at that point. Then now there is an edge again, which is also supposed to be broken. Supposed to be broken that way. So now we are having our cuboid, and the next thing is to label it. Let's label this A, B, C, D. So we can talk about E, F, G, H. So it's now well labeled. So that is the paper. That's the section 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the paper. We can meet tomorrow for continuation. Access airtime of any amount. You can even buy for a friend. You use the same pay bill, but the account number, you use that one of a friend. Then now the friend is going to receive airtime from Shifting Grades on your behalf. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night. See you tomorrow.